The buy versus rent debate has been going on forever, and I mean forever. You have the buying is chaining yourself to a mortgage for 25 years for a long time. You really don't own the house until then. And you also have the ones who say renting is a waste of money. And then you have both of these camps shouting at each other on the internet. However, this person had a plan. They knew what to do. They had money saved. And now this constant debate has got them rethinking. So today we're going to settle it, not by picking a side, but by helping you make the right decisions for your life, your circumstances, and your goals. And I have a few things to say because property is very much my world, so stay with me. Okay, so let's read today's letter. Hello, Misola. I have some money saved up and the plan is to buy a house. However, I am beginning to second guess myself. I hear people say it's better to rent than to buy. Right. So this person already has a plan, already has some money saved. They are not starting from zero. Now, the reality is that it happens all the time, and I get it because big financial decisions are scary. Have you ever heard of buyer's remorse? I bet you're having that kind of conversation or feeling right now. When you actually purchase a property, the first 2 weeks, you'll be like, what did I just do? What did I just use my money to do? So let's break it down because I know you're looking for some sort of reassurance, but you ended up with some sort of debate online. So first things first, let's talk about the truth. Personally, I can't understand why this argument continues to exist online in the way that it does. And I mean with respect to both sides, because here's the reality. Both options are valid. Whether you buy or you rent genuinely depends on your personal circumstances. So let me give you both sides because I think that's what you need rather than a hot take or someone who doesn't know anything about you. When you make a purchase or when you have a mortgage, you're building equity. So every single payment is going towards something you would eventually own. Look at it like when you start a business and you're pumping in so much money on there. As long as you don't give up, that business will start bringing in returns at some point and you'll be able to recoup all of your money back. It's not the same as a business, but that idea of being able to get your money back is the way it works with a mortgage. I love the idea of being in a position where you never have to be looking for a guarantor. Now, when I say that, I know that was my situation a couple of years ago. But yeah, if you're not earning a threshold or if you don't have a job but you need a place, well, if you don't have a job, it's not wise to get a place. If you need a place, you need a roof over your head. You need a guarantor. Or, I mean, you don't even need to not have a job. You don't have 3 years credit history in the country because you're an immigrant. You've just moved. You need a guarantor. So I like the idea of not having to look for somebody to stand in as some sort of surety for myself. It's very difficult to find. I know that from experience. I also love the idea of a space being mine where I can paint the walls, redecorate, do whatever it is, put some sort of nail in the wall to put up my art decoration and all that, and not have to worry about calling the landlord to ask for permission. And then there's that one where the landlord can double the rent because of inflation or whatever excuse. He can just increase the rent, not double. He can just increase the rent after every 2 years or after every year. You don't get that with a mortgage. It's fixed for 2 years or it's fixed for 5 years. And from a wealth perspective, property for some people has been that thing that's changed their financial story. Building equity over a period of 10, 15, 20 years is a genuine way of building wealth for yourself. It's a pathway for that. There are people who have built that equity and they have been able to take that out and start investing in property and they're off to the race because, yes, property is a good way to build wealth, but you need money to invest in property. Make no mistake, you actually need money, except you want to start with like service accommodation, rent to rent, or sourcing. Even at that, you still need some sort of money. But when we're talking about the large scale amount, yes, you need money. So let's talk about renting. Flexibility is real. If you're not sure where life is taking you, a different job, a different city, even a different country, you don't know what's going to happen in the next year or two, you're not settled, you probably don't have kids. Renting gives you options. And even if you have kids and you're like, no, we're the kind of people that get bored easily, this is not our forever place. And if you don't even have the money for the deposit, yes, renting is the best idea because you have to live somewhere anyway. Then the mere fact that you're not responsible for maintenance, you're not responsible for some level of damages. I think you're not responsible for that. That's a good thing. And then it makes so much sense if you now have the cash flow. The difference between what you're renting and your and if you would have paid a mortgage, you're now investing that in stocks. That means you're building wealth for yourself. However, the caveat to this is the fact that you're renting does not necessarily mean that your rent will be cheaper than a mortgage. Sometimes it's the same thing. So those are factors that you have to consider. But what I'm trying to do is give you the scenario for buying and the scenario for renting. They are both good and neither side is lying. But here's what nobody is telling you in these debates. The question was never whether to buy or to rent. The question is what's right for me in my very personal circumstance, in my situation, and if you factor in the goals and the plans that I have for my life for the next 2, 3, 5 years. Are you planning to leave the country in the next 2 years, or are you staying here? Do you have a stable income? Do you have a deposit already saved? And you do. Or are you stretching beyond what you can afford normally? If you buy well and then your circumstances changes, can you sell it? Because a good buy is a good buy, whether you end up staying or leaving. Now, I'll be honest with you about where I stand because I'm a property person, right? We run a service accommodation business. We also source investment properties for investors. I believe deeply in using property to build wealth. So I would never sit down here and tell you that buying is a bad idea. Whether you buy it in your name or you buy it as a form of investment in a property, it's always a good idea. As long as you buy well, as long as you know what to do, and someone is not cheating you and just inflating the prices and you go ahead and buy it. But I believe in only making financial moves that you can afford, and it applies to buying a house more than you will ever know. You need to be able to afford the mortgage. Okay, so now that I have given you my perspective and we've been able to say this is what buying is about, this is what renting is about, let's look at this from a kingdom perspective. So in 3 John chapter 1 verse 3, it says, "Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers." The KJV version says, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. Then there is John 10, verse 10. "I have come that you may have life and have it abundantly." The key word there is abundantly. Your Father in heaven is not just sitting there and just watching you and hoping that you just stay stuck in a cycle of renting that you resent. No, he desires you to prosper. He is here to give you the desires of your heart, as long as it's in accordance with his will. He desires abundance for your life, including your financial life. So instead of spending energy consuming this rent versus buy debate, I want you to take this to God. What is God telling you to do? Ask him. Ask for wisdom. Ask for clarity about your personal circumstances. Ask him to bless the decision you're leaning toward and show you if you're going the wrong way. Your path is ordered by him. Because here's the thing about wisdom. It does not come from the comment section. It comes from above. So pray about this. Take the decision seriously and then make a call. Okay, now that we've gone through the kingdom perspective, we've looked at it from the lens of the kingdom. Let us talk about practical steps, your strategy, 4 steps that you can take right now, and then you can get some sort of clarity or get moving and go buy your property. Step 1, make a decision and stand by it. You already had a plan before the internet got involved. You have direction. You have money saved. And the fact that you're now second guessing yourself tells me one thing. You went out looking for validation and all you got was a debate. So here's what I want to say to you directly. Stop letting people influence decisions that you make about your financial life. I cannot give you advice. I can give you my take and I can give you this versus this. And I can tell you that I'm being biased towards you buying because I am a property person. I'm not necessarily into stocks and trading. I need to learn it because I have to learn it. But when it comes to property, that's my area. And so I'll be more biased towards that. So have all of these factors to consider. What we don't know is we don't know your visa status. We don't know whether you have kids or you're planning to move out of the country or you're staying. All of these factors that I have mentioned, we don't know it. We're just speaking from a generic point of view. These debates are done in abstract. but you're the one that is living your specific life. So make that decision, write it down, and protect it from the noise, really, because there's so much noise out here. And step two, if you decide to buy, only buy what you can afford. So this is the rule I use and I stand by. When you are looking out for a mortgage, it should not be more than 30% of your monthly income, your monthly salary. As a matter of fact, if you're renting as well, if you're looking for a place to rent, it shouldn't be above 30% of what your monthly take home is. And if your mortgage payments, say for example, it's going to be 50%, then you know that that's not a house for you. It doesn't mean that you would never have the house, because sometimes you might be emotionally invested and really love the house. It just means it's not yet time. So get what you can get right now. Upgrade your income, build more savings, and it's so much easier for you to now buy, like remortgage or move and buy another one in a couple of years time, and then come back when the numbers actually work in your favor. Buying a house that stretches you beyond your means does not build wealth, it just stresses you out, and it's not worth it. Now, step three, know that buying a house costs more than a deposit. Now, typically, especially if you're in Facebook groups, because you're about to buy, you have your deposit saved, so you've put your ears to the ground. You hear brokers tell you, save up for when you have your deposit. On top of your deposit, you have fees, there's stamp duty, there's the legal fees. Then depending on the broker you're using, you might have to pay fees to the broker. There's also moving costs and all of those things. I would tell you, save on top of that, because things happen when people buy. Anything can happen that you now need that extra money, because when you are done, when all else is done, you've paid for the house, you've moved in, you've been able to do the improvements that you need to do, you've paid the fees and all of that, and you still have something saved or something left, it's a good problem. It means you're not starting from zero. So if you have saved your deposit, save more for the fees. And even if you saved more for the fees, save on top of that. It's always a good problem to have more cash. And that just leads us into the last step, which means work on your cash flow, regardless of the option that you choose, whether you decide to rent or buy. This step is non-negotiable. Cash is king. A mortgage does not replace the need for cash flow, and a rent does not replace the need for cash flow. You need savings. You need money moving well, coming in, going out, and building intentionally over time. And if your cash flow is not great, there is no housing decision that will fix it. So get your money working properly first, and every other financial decision can follow on later. So I would always say this in every video. What is it that you need to do? Do you need to upskill and get a better paid job? Do you need to start a business, or do you need to start investing? Even that third option of investing in property, investing in stocks, comes after the first two. My preference is that the very first thing you need to do is get a job that pays you. Now, if you get a job that pays you the barest minimum, if you're starting from scratch, while you're there, start upskilling yourself, because what you need to do is you need to become a high income earner. Now, there are people that entrepreneurship is for them, and there are people that entrepreneurship is not for them. This is what I do if I ever have to coach someone, or I ever have to talk to someone or give them some sort of advice. If entrepreneurship is for you, go ahead and get started with that idea. And you might want to watch yesterday's video, because I spoke about you starting your business right now and not waiting for when your ILR comes. But if you're not an entrepreneur at heart, stay at your job, get the best job, go up there. It's not even everybody that is meant to be an entrepreneur. Some people, their purpose is to go up the C-suite, the CEO level and all of that, and impact decisions there from a kingdom perspective. And this is the reset I want to leave with you today. You already had a plan. You know what to do. You have the savings. These internet people are just getting in your way. Stick to your plan and just have some sort of tunnel vision and focus on what it is you want to do. Forget about what we're telling you on the internet here. We're making too much noise. And cold feet is normal when you're about to make one of the biggest financial decisions of your life ever. It's not a warning sign. It's just what big decisions feel like. But here is the thing. Something greater might be waiting for you. A place you call your own, a home you would grow to love, equity that grows quietly while you sleep, and roots in a country that you have chosen to stay in. You never really know what's on the other side, except you take that leap and just do it. And when you get the keys, come back here to the comment section and tell us how it all went, because your story would be an encouragement for another immigrant who is like, do I buy or do I rent? Do I start saving up a deposit? Just come back here and let us know. As we wrap up, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe to this channel. If you have a question, anything that's got to do with changing your money story or living here as an immigrant, click the link in the description box and send me your letter, send me your question. I will sit on here, record the video, and come up with solutions that would help you take the next step and give you clarity on your transformation. And share this video with anyone who you think needs to hear this, and like the video as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.